We are live. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone.
Just want to make sure I don't have any volume on the stream there.
Is that something we do? Leave volumes somewhere? We don't do that.
Stream there.
I just did that. Hello, Northern Berlin Acres. I'm guessing she's talking about chickens. Yes, they are. You think you can handle it, but soon they are 25 more, and you have no idea where you come from. I know. Chicken math. Hello, Lynn. I really liked your daughter's video. This is for you. Your video with your daughter is adorable.
Tomorrow morning is the one with my son.
With the strawberries?
Yep.
Nice. Hello, Annie. Hello, Patrick. Hi, is this the meeting for chicken? Yes. Yes. So I'm guessing the people that are already here already owns chickens.
Probably.
I know Patrick just said he has some. Annie has some. Lynn, I'm guessing she already has some. Northern Berlin Acres said she had some. So.
We both have some.
Mm-hmm. And I have ducks.
I was always a little hesitant on ducks, but if I move Sal's property, it has a big lake there, big beaver dam, so there might be an option there in the future.
It's not. The males are not loud. The males are silent. It's the females that quacks a lot. So you could raise male for meat because they would be literally silent, but the females would be very vocal. But I have 3 females and they are not as loud. I would say to compare their noise, it would be the same thing as the chickens. Like when they do that song, I've laid an egg. When they come out of the coop, it's almost as the same sound. They are on their way. I'm guessing he's talking about people that has chickens. Good about the video tomorrow. That's for you. Yes, we have some coming on the 20th of April. I have my meat chickens coming in on May 5th, if my memory is correct.
I have to make my order.
Don't delay too much. Last year, we had to wait for the second wave because they were no longer available.
It's just a matter of figuring out how many I can have if things don't work out right away.
I find that the magical number for small space is between 15 and 25. About that, because you can do it all in the same day. For us, it takes us a couple of hours to set up, a couple of hours to like wash everything, sanitize everything, and then I would say like it's an 8-hour job, like from beginning to end, to process 25 chickens. But we don't have your plucker, so you might have maybe put down that time.
It's amazing. It works so well. I think the first year we did about 20, it was 22 or 23 chickens, and we didn't have the plucker. It took us from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. to do the whole process, bagging and in the freezer.
Yeah. Well, it's because you have to sanitize everything when you start. You have to set up. And then once everything is done, you have to sanitize everything again. And then you have to put them in the fridge for a couple of hours and then put them in the freezer. So it's a very long process if you don't have a nice plucker.
Yeah. And with the plucker, we were done around lunchtime.
You know, I have the one that you kind of eat the feathers. You know, it's a thing that goes like that. And like there's feathers that like rolls everything. So I have to put the goggles to make sure that I don't have some in my eyes. But it's better than hand plucking for sure. Lynn says we had ducks. They were so messy. I say springtime. Yes, they were messy here. I have to figure out how they don't spread mud everywhere because they love to bathe. And I have to figure out a pool for them because I put them, like I would say, an 18-inch bowl of water for the chickens and the duck, and they find a way of bathing in that water. So, yes, they're a little bit messy. So, if you don't want that much of a mess, I would separate them. If I could, I would separate. I would have my flock of chicken and my flock of ducks, but I can't do that. The duck eggs, I love baking with them. It just makes everything so moist. I started with 14 chickens 6 years ago, and I sold 6 because I found I had too many. There's such a thing of having too many chickens.
Yeah, the math doesn't work there.
The math doesn't work. Now I have over 30 layer hens, 3 ducks, and 60 meat birds coming. But your 3 ducks are little ducklings for now, right, Annie? Bucket list homestead. No, that's not for me. Belly acres. Howdy. Hello. My name is Jilly, and I am a chickaholic. Chickenaholic. I have a hard time putting your comment on the screen. I don't know why.
Seem to be lagging now. Well, you're frozen.
I am lagging, right?
Yeah, you're frozen right now. Are you still there?
Okay, I'm gonna go check my internet connection. You can chat with the people here. I'll be right back.
All right. So I have to keep this live going. I'll try not to miss it out. Lynn, would you recommend getting equipment first, then getting meat chickens? Not necessarily. What I would recommend though is to have a few people helping you out on the day of on the butchering day. We did it with the kids, and like I said, it took about 8 hours to do 22 or 23 chickens. But it's doable. It's just a matter of, as long as you have a big bucket of water that you can heat it up to put the chicken, like you put the chickens and you just remove the feathers after. It's so much easier. You don't necessarily need to have all the equipment beside that.
Is it better?
Yep, you're back. You're good.
Okay, weird. I never usually lag. That's probably why I couldn't click on from Belly Acres. Would you recommend getting equipment first then? Well, the equipment is expensive. Isn't that what you were just saying? The first year I got my meat chickens, I borrowed the equipment. The only thing I bought was the cones to put the heads in, but you can DIY a 20-liter bucket, make a hole in the middle, and you could make it work the first year to make sure that it's something you want to do, because a plucker, the one Remi has, is a huge investment. And let's just say you make that huge investment and then you don't like doing it. Well, then you're stuck with like an $800 equipment that you will no longer use. And I saw on Facebook Marketplace, you can rent a plucker for $75 for a 24-hour period. So I would go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they were so messy, and they poop much more than the chickens. I never paid attention to that detail. I wouldn't know. We did love watching them, though. They were so funny. We had a child pool. I have a child pool also. They just made such a mess with the water in the coop. I guess I'm fortunate because they only make a mess outside, and the only time they make a mess inside is now. It's in the month of like end of March, mid-April, because like it's so muddy outside, and then they bring a lot in with their dirty feet. But my chicken and my ducks don't sleep in the same area, so that's probably why it doesn't bother me that much. I processed 100 with my brother-in-law and family last October. First time, great learning. It is a learning experience for sure. Yes, little ducklings. I have too many addictions: seeds, chickens, mason jars, and I have no regrets. Own it, Lynn. Same thing here. If every time I see a mason jar used for like an amazing good price, even though I know I probably won't use them, I still buy them because at one point they will be full. And chickens, same thing. They're useful for so many reasons. Okay, I am caught up with the comments. No, this one. I used to dress 60 chickens every 6 weeks. Had no fancy equipment back then, just boiling them. Same, yeah. You don't need the expensive equipment for sure. It's the only thing I would say if you have help, you're 2-3 adults doing it manually, it is possible to them in one day. But if you're a one-man show, I doubt that you would be able to do 60 chickens in one day. I doubt it.
But you can do a few here and there.
Yes.
That's what I do when I know the kids don't want to help and my girlfriend can't help for some reason.
Yeah.
I'll go out. I'll do 2 or 3 one night, and then the following night I'll do a couple more. And just split the work.
I prefer doing it the same day because you have to sanitize everything every time you have to start. So I just make sure that the kids are not here, we don't have any distraction, and we have like in front of us 8 hours. And if we can, we try to set up the night before so that when we come out, we just have to sanitize everything and then just start. Not lying, one woman show. Well then, nice. If you can dress 60 chickens in one day, I am impressed. It's very nice. Very nice. It took us a long time, but like, I'm sure we can find a way to cut down time because boiling the water takes about an hour for it to reach the nice temperature, like the key temperature to remove all the feathers. So we lose an hour there. I'm sure we can find a way of cutting down time for sure.
I guess if you have more cones, it could be easier. You just put all the chickens in the cones and you do what you have to do. You let them bleed out. And
we do 3 at a time. We could maybe go up 5 at a time.
Yeah, because it takes a while for all the blood to get out.
Yeah, like to empty them and everything. Yeah, it does take a while. I find that the dispatching and the dressing part is not that long. I find that it's the aftermath, like removing everything and then putting them in bags. Well, it's almost as the same time as undressing them, but it is a consuming process, like a time-consuming process. But I don't regret it because they taste so much better.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we kind of got deep into the subjects before I asked questions. So we all know that you have chickens, Remi. When did you get your chickens?
It was about 10, 11 years ago when I started. I bought them as little chicks, and since I'm always the bad lucky one, I ended up with 4 roosters and 2 hens out of the first 6 chicks. So I called the guy. I said, "Look, I know, like I knew you wasn't able to be like 100% successful by sexing them at birth. He had told me that, and I was okay with it. But when I called him, I said, "Look, I know it's not your fault, but I ended up with two hens out of 6. Can you sell me some more hens, ready to lay hens?" He said, "Yeah, no problem. Come and pick some up." And I went there, and I mean, the guy had like 40, 50 different chickens. So I just went in there and picked a few, and I started from there. So since then, I have chickens. They're fun, though. They're so addictive. I mean, chicken math is a real thing. We keep laughing about it, but it is a real thing.
And it's a serious calculation.
Yeah.
I
2
remember
+ 2 = 25.
That's it. I remember going and I wanted a certain breed of chicks, and I bought 6. And I said, okay, I'm going to have 2-3 hens and then the rest of roosters. there was an error. So instead of having 6 of the chicks of the same breed, I got 2 from they were Plymouth Rock, and then 4 of the breed I wanted, and I had 1 hen, 5 roosters.
Oh,
So I'm kind of I don't think I will be buying chicks, unsexed chicks, for a very, very long time, because every time I have 60% of roosters and 40% of I think it's called pullets, like females, and I just have so many roosters, and then processing them before they start singing, it's almost a waste.
yeah. Unless you can eat them. That's why I like to buy dual purpose birds.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for them to sing, because
Yeah.
when they
Well,
start singing, I have problems.
yeah. I get that, and well, sometimes you can see them or hear them just before they start, like a day or two before they actually start crowing. You can hear them trying and not being able to make it.
Yep. You kind of know.
Yeah, then it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, well, I they always started doing that singing on Mondays and Tuesdays, and my husband cannot take off Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, so I have to wait Thursday or Friday for him to process them. But then we weigh them, and they're so small. It's like they're like undressed, empty. They would be like a pound and a half. So I can only do like broth with them. So I know it's not a waste. It's just I find it. Uh, I rather buy pullets with the situations
Yeah,
that I have now.
makes sense.
And when you started, what was the purpose? What was the reasoning behind you getting chickens?
When I first started, I didn't even know what I wanted chickens for. To be honest, someone told me that he had just purchased chickens, and I'm like, "What? You bought chickens? Like what for?"
That's a
And then
thing.
he's like, "Well, to get fresh eggs." And I wasn't like, "What do you mean fresh eggs? Like, is that really a thing?" Like not that I knew where the eggs came from, obviously, but I didn't trust the fact that I could have chickens in my backyard and eating the eggs right away, right from the chickens. And like then he told me, yeah, like you just take the eggs, and I mean you can clean them up a little bit and you eat them. They're fresh, they're way better. And like after that, I mean it was just yeah, addiction kicked in, and you just need to have more and more chickens.
It was the
Now
same for me.
it's
When I started, I knew where the same thing where the egg came from, obviously from laying hens, and I didn't know that it was possible for a homeowner to have hens.
mhm.
I didn't know. It's Justin Rhodes that just said, that you can have chickens almost anywhere. So I'm like, oh, really? I can get fresh eggs. And for you, when you started, it was just for the fresh eggs. You didn't know that you wanted to
At
harvest them.
first, yes. Way back in the days, my dad had purchased some meat chickens with my uncle. I don't remember exactly the quantities they had, but I remember they were not really they didn't really have a lot of knowledge in that department, so they kind of struggled a little bit. But I remember that the chicken was good, and that's another thing I wanted to have with the chickens. But I knew there's difference between meat chickens and regular layers, so I figured I'll get used to having layers, and once I'm good enough to handle them, I'll go and I'll get some meat chickens and see if there's a difference in how you take care of them, I guess. But to answer your question properly, I guess, yeah, when I first started, it was just for the eggs. I didn't know what else it could be used for except the meat chickens.
Okay. Um, for same thing for me when I started, it was just for eggs, but it quickly escalated. Within the same year, I got my pullets. I ordered meat chickens for that same year, so I didn't have that big of a gap. But I think if you look back, we're kind of blessed because YouTube taught us, me and my husband, how to raise our chickens. in how to raise our meat birds.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it is a blessing to have all that education, because I don't think we would be so comfortable doing it if we didn't see someone else doing it.
Exactly. I'm the kind of person that likes to see before I do.
Well, it's because you want to make the educated choice, because if you're harvesting an animal, one, you don't want it to suffer because you're doing it for that. And two, you're doing it for a good quality meat. So if your animal suffers, you won't have
Same.
quality meat. You won't have the same quality of meat. So it is important to be knowledgeable to harvest it. What's nice when you have your own equipment is that you can take your time. We usually do it in 2 days. Well, I think Annie, you do like 100 birds, if my memory is correct. Hello, Marilyn.
Hello.
We ended up with 3 roosters, and both the ducks were males. They assured us they were females. Oops.
It's not like you buy something at a store and you can just return them. You're stuck with them.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck with them. Patrick asked, question, is it true that 3 chickens or odd numbers is a great numbers for... I don't know. When I started with an even number, but then I went to an odd number. I started with 6, and then I had 9. But I didn't see that.
I didn't see a difference. I had so many chickens, so many added, so many removed. I don't even know how much I have right now.
I
4.
never paid attention to that detail. 4.
I'm not watching. I only have 4.
You only have 4. No, seriously, I wouldn't know. I've never heard of. I know that for a rooster, like a rooster needs at least 3 females, or the poor things would be very busy. You would see like the back feathers being ripped, and unless he has a favorite one, poor thing, if you only have 3. But
Yeah,
that's the only thing I would see about numbers. But I'm not that much of I'm not that knowledgeable with that aspect. Now, talking about chickens, I feel like I should start my incubator. Are
yeah.
we being a bad influence? We have pullets coming this time too. I was lucky I married a farm boy. Nice. Cheers. Okay, caught up. Do you have a breed in particular you enjoy, and why?
Um, I'd like to say that I have 3 different breeds that I really like, and the 3 of them all have the same purpose. Um, Barred Rocks, the Rhode Island Reds, and the Buff Orpingtons. For some reason, I love those
I
3.
love the Buff Orpington. I have one. They're so cuddly. They're like pets.
Yeah, the feathers are so soft. Like it's.
You
Uh,
have the caramel one.
I did, yes.
Okay.
I had to get rid of them, but my friend that purchased them promised me that she was going to incubate some and she was going to sell me some chicks whenever I'm ready.
Nice.
So those chickens are good layers, and they're also dual purpose birds, which means that you can uh, you know keep the roosters for meat and keep the hens for the eggs. Plus, my daughter loves the Rhode Island Reds. If you've seen the video, one of the first videos she did, we
She
did,
walks around with them.
yeah, her chicken, she calls her Ketchup,
Aw.
and there's nothing she's not doing with that chicken.
You still own Ketchup, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Ketchup is still going strong.
I find that the Buff Orpington lays less than the Baird Rock. I own the 2. The Baird Rock is a big bird.
Yeah, especially the roosters.
No, the hens. I
The
have a
hens
Baird Rock.
too.
The hens are big, so they eat more. So
Hmm.
that, like, if you own big size birds, it's gonna cost you more on feed for sure. unless you put them on pasture. But if you have too much, you can harvest them, which I find is good. The red,
Rhode Island Red.
I have the sister to that. It's the New Hampshire Red.
Okay.
It's a taller bird. It's lighter, and she's so calm. Like, she's not aggressive. My Orpington is so nice. Another breed that I enjoy is Easter egger. It's they're blue eggs. So I love to have like a colorful basket. So I think I would say the same. The Buff Orpington. There's another one that I had that passed away. Colombian. It's all white and it has like a star black here. I think it's Colombian rock. Something like that. Colombian something. It was unfortunately an accident happened and she died. I really love that hen. She was always following me around. She was the boss. It was nice. But I think this year, if I'm adding pullets to my flock, it would be either this one, or the Colombian. No, the Baird Rock.
Okay. I'm hoping to be able to find some partridge Chanticleer when I go to the conference in Ontario. So I might bring home some of those.
Which one?
Partridge Chanticleer.
This thing.
Chanticleer.
I don't know that one.
The one that Hickory Croft Farm has. Darren from Thorhaven Farm has them also.
I did not see them. I've seen his chickens, but I probably didn't pay attention to what they look like.
The breed. They're a dual purpose bird as well.
Mm-hmm. If I could, I would have a dual purpose because I would have like some sort of an operation to be like to have an ongoing supply of. Actually, no, I would have two operations. One, I would have the meat, the Rhode Island Reds, and I would have a breed of small chickens that always want to become moms.
Well, any of the Bantams ones.
Yes, but there's one in particular that I really enjoy.
The Millefleur?
No.
The ones I had are pretty good with that.
No, there's a Bantam version of that, and there's also a standard. They have very furry legs. Oh, God. I hate when I look for breeds. Anyways, the only thing they want to do is be moms, and they're terrific moms. So I would have like a rooster and two hens of that.
Always broody.
So that when they go broody, I would have like an operation going on of like an ongoing meat operation with the chicks. Koshin, that's exactly it. Thank you. And some of them are really beautiful. They have like this furry big butt, and they have fuzzy legs.
Hi, Jill.
Hello, Jill. Thanks for that. We have puts. I said that. I will recommend Lisa Steele. She is an amazing resource for chickens. Thank you. I wanted Buff Orpingtons so bad, but we couldn't only get them as chicks. That sucks.
Well, if I can get myself set up properly on Sal's property, maybe next year at the next conference, I might.
Wink, wink. Next year. Aracanas. Those are very special breeds. I have there's Americanas and there's Easter eggers. The Easter eggers are unrecognized, or Americanas that has defects, breed defects. So, and the Easter eggers are cheaper to buy than the Araucanas and Americanas. They lay every day. We are drowning in eggs. I think everyone that owns chickens right now are about to start to go say, I have too many eggs.
Yeah, you're complaining 1 week that you don't have any more eggs. You kind of almost fall to the temptation to go buy some at the store, and then a few weeks later you're overwhelmed and you have too much. You don't know where to put them.
First time in 5 years of owning, well, 4 years and a half of owning chickens, I bought my first 3 dozen eggs. And then I found out that my little chickens were not laying in the boxes that I made for them. They were laying like somewhere else. I found 2 dozen eggs. And I just bought 2 dozen, I bought 1 dozen around Christmas time or just about after Christmas time. And then I bought 2 dozen at Costco. And then I found 2 dozen in the coop. I'm like, oops. Now I'm drowning in eggs.
They're fun to have, though.
Yes. No worries, Marilyn. I have Plymouth Rocks, Americanas, Marin. I would love to have a Marin, a hen Marin. The eggs are like almost like color of chocolate. Chanticleer, and the other ones are a mix of it all. I have a rainbow of egg color. That's nice.
Cool.
We are getting red Sextons pullets and Araucanas. These are breeds I don't know. Our Cochin were super friendly, but gosh, she was broody. Yeah, well, that's the reason why I would have Cochin, because they grow broody all the time. Silky, I was looking into the breed of Silkies, but not a friend, but someone I knew, she had 2 breeders, like 2 sets, like 2 roosters and 4 hens separated in 2. And in those like hair things that they have like a huge hair comb, they would have not ticks,
Lice?
Yeah, all the time in here, because it was so long, and she had to trim around the eyes because the hair was always coming on the eyes, and that was not something I wanted to jump in, because like I barely have time as it is. But I know that they're very good broodies, the Silkies. I have those. They waddle.
Plus, they don't lay as much.
No, well, that's the thing. When you go broody with broody breeds, you have to figure out, well, you're going to have less eggs for sure. So you can't have it all with chickens. Yes, the Easter eggers are considered mutts. That's mean. They're super fun. We had 2. They were super friendly. That's true. And I have people tells me that Easter eggers don't go broody. Every single year I have one that goes broody. I have 2, so either or one of them goes broody every year. Ours laid all winter too. Did yours lay all winter?
They usually lay until the beginning, like maybe like the second week of December, and depending on how warm it is, because once it gets cold, they stop laying, and they started back maybe 2 weeks ago.
I know that their laying schedule, as soon as there's less sun, they go down. But my flock is getting very old, so I know that older hens don't lay during the winter. I would have to. Sorry, that's my mom calling me. I would have to add younger hybrids, like those co-op style hens, so that I would have them year round. But breeds does not lay during the winter. But that's fun. Like I babysat a hen last year, and she was giving me. Is there an echo?
I don't know. I don't hear it.
Is there an echo? No? Okay. I was hearing an echo. I'm hearing myself in echo. Can you hear me in echo?
No. Well, I don't.
No? Okay, so it's on my side only. And the hen that I was babysitting was giving me 6 eggs a week, nonstop. But mine, they said, no, we on strike. This year, I want to try water glass eggs with my over. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I know it's a way to preserve them, but I don't know how that works. I was wondering, in the incubators, you have to have a perfect temperature and the perfect humidity every day, or they die. How do hens do when they hatch them themselves? They don't move at all.
Yeah,
Like
that's the thing.
when my hens go broody, I thought I was gonna lose the first hen that went broody on me. I thought I was gonna lose her as soon as she hatched her chicken. She was so skinny. I had to bring the water and the feed to her so that she would eat or she wouldn't get up. But they would only get up to poop, drink, and eat. They don't really move.
Yeah, I
So I
would
think that's how they do it.
even add, Marilyn, you have rabbits. I would say I could ask the same thing about rabbits. You know, the babies come out, they have no fur. How do they stay warm? The mama knows what to do. It's just
Yeah,
like
it's
that. I
it's
mean, it's
it's
crazy.
instinct. But like I would never see them off the nest more than 5 minutes.
No, they sometimes get up, they go eat, drink, they go back right away.
Yeah. Every night we would have to scratch under their beak when we put them up for the night. They would not settle. Oh, that's cute. Asking from someone who knows nothing about chickens. I'm sure you know lots, Marilyn. Oh no, is Marilyn? Does she has chickens? I forgot. Do you have chickens, Marilyn?
She's planning on getting some this year or maybe next year, I think.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. Yes, there was an echo. Seems that it's gone now. Okay, maybe my internet connection is acting up on me. It's been a weird weekend at my house. Many things has been like my it started with my washer and then my dryer, and then we were able to fix both of them, and now today it's my fridge. So I hope nothing else breaks. Um what else? So is there a breed that you wanted to try? You mentioned one earlier. Was
The
there another?
Chanticleer.
The Chanticleer.
Yeah, I
Is
would
there?
I would like to try them simply because you know there seem to be pretty chickens and they're dual purpose. Whatever's dual purpose for me is easy going because you can just leave them there, rooster with the hens. They'll do their thing. You'll have chicks. The mama will take care of them. And once they get bigger, if you want to get rid of the roosters, you put them in your freezer. If you want to have more layers, you keep them. You can easily, you know,
The
refresh
rotation, yeah.
have a rotation refresh your
I
flow.
thought the Chanticleers were not broody.
I don't know, but I see Chris and Steph's videos, and they seem to be doing it. They don't have an incubator, and
Nice.
they're
No,
doing it
it's
still.
something I read because I did look into before I got the knock of the city. The Chanticleer was a breed I was looking for to have dual purpose birds, and I did not own an incubator at the time. And I thought I read that they were not broody, but
Could be.
could be. I don't know. If you could, would you have a stagnant coop or pasture? Pasture setup.
I think I would have both, because if you have them on pasture, then you have them in the open. You're always vulnerable to predators. But then again, it's the best way to raise them. You give them the best life you can give them. They'll eat fresh. They'll eat better, basically, and you'll end up with better eggs, better meat if you decide to eat the chickens. And at the same time, I would like to have some, you know, that would stay maybe more protected inside. And you could always do a rotation once every second day. That way, if predator attacks and he kills all of them for some reason, foxes are vicious, and there's You might be watching your chicken and think that they're safe. You turn your head around for a few seconds and bye bye, they're gone.
True.
So
If you are on pasture, electric fence would be a requirement.
yeah, definitely. But then, like, I've seen a few hawks around, falcons, eagles. Those will go after the chickens as well.
Unless you have a guard goose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's another option.
that's another option. I think I would go with multi operations. I would have pasture for my meat birds for sure. But I would also have a stagnant coop for my compost.
Yeah, that's another great point.
And I think in the summer, I like when there's like when the pasture's good, I would let them free range a little bit so that their eggs can actually get that beautiful color.
Hmm.
But like obviously you need compost, so it would be a tough choice because compost is getting more and more of an investment every year, and I buy a lot every year, so I think I would go with both. Hello, Fox. Fox it outdoors. Can you remind me of your first name so I can call you by your first name?
Bye, Lynn, if you're still here. Have a nice
Oh.
trip. And I wasn't talking about you, Fox, when I was saying that foxes are.
I have to go. Bye, Lynn. Hope you have a nice trip. Thanks, Annie and Remi. It was nice to talk about chickens with people who likes them as much as I do. Yes, it's true. Because when you tell people that you're buying chickens or you have chickens and they don't know what you're talking about, they think you're crazy. The chicken crazy lady or the crazy man.
Mhm.
It's not a breed, but I want olive eggers. Yes, I want olive eggers. It's like a beautiful. No, actually, if I could choose, I would have an olive egger F1. I would have, which is a cross between a Easter egger and a Moran, and then that baby female, you cross it again with a Marin, so it's a olive color, but like a darker olive. I would love to have that, but they're not available here. Uh, that one was for you. My name is Cliff, but I'm not. But I'm okay if I'm called Fox too. Okay. What else did I want to ask you? What would you say is a minimum requirement when you get your first, like your first set of chicks or chickens?
You don't need much, really. If you have if someone tells you they're gonna give you chickens and you don't think you're ready, as long as you have them in a safe. If you have your coop, it doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be much. Just take an old shed or something like that. I have a whole smelt shanty, and I had a few chickens in there. Um, as long as they have access to water and food, um, I give them food in one of the feeders, and they'll go after the food that's on the ground. So you can just throw the food on the ground, and they're gonna eat it. Give them water. You can take like an old butter jug or whatever plastic container, put water in there, give it to them. The only thing I would say is make sure that you give them water often because they tend to go in the bucket and they'll flip it over for some reason. You give them
Mm-hmm.
water, and the first thing you notice is they flip it, and you have to give them water again.
I
But
like the gravity waterer. You take a 20-liter jug, you poke holes on the side, and you flip it in a container, and the gravity of the water like overflows in the cup.
mhm,
So they only have like maybe what 2 inch, like just enough for their beaks to dip. The water is not as dirty, and 20 liters of water in the summer, you can actually go to work and not be worried that when you come back from work, they're gonna like miss out on water, especially in those big heat waves. But that DIY project my husband did in under an hour. So I think that that type of water is a good way to go. For feed, you don't have to make it complicated. Like he said, just I put a little bit on the ground, a little bit in their container, so that every single hen has food. I find that since there's a hierarchy, the most important hens eat first, and then the rest, like the end of the line, sometimes does not have as much food. So that's why I try to spread it all around for them, for everyone to have enough food. And that's why I love the 50 liter, the 20-liter jar, because 8 hen fits around the waterer, so all of them can have enough water all at the same time. And another thing I would say as a requirement is in the winter, if you have high winds,
hide them from
like the cold. Depending on the cold, if you're in Alaska, that's another thing. If you are in like around Quebec City, zone 4, zone 5, I would say you don't really need to have like an insulated coop, but to hide them from those harsh winds, because that's when they can get those frostbites, and on their combs, they can get like really bad frostbites. But you don't have to make the coop complicated at all. An old shed, like he said. We picked up so many things from the dumpster to make our coop, and then we just added year after year after year, made it a bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And then last thing we added was industrial laying boxes, because my friend was moving and she gave them to me. But I would never have purchased those big metal box, because they're like a huge investment. But I just had like a little box, a crate that I put on the wall, and they would go to lay their hens. Obviously that's what I wanted to say, they need a place to lay their their eggs. And at night, I would say to secure them inside, since you never know when you start what type of predators you have. Did you want to add something else?
If you're talking about laying box, you can just buy those plastic containers at Walmart or Canadian Tire for like $5-6, and you just put them upside down and make a little hole for them, and they'll be fine. It doesn't need to be fancy.
Nope. A coop does not need to be fancy. When I see those Pinterest coops, I go like this. The chickens won't care if they have a 5-star hotel or they have the minimum requirements. They just want water, feed, and shelter, and a place to sleep with the like roosting and being covered from the elements, and that includes the sun. If you have I have hens that are black, and if I don't provide them with enough shade, they will struggle more than the ones that are lighter.
They'll look for shades in the summer if you let them free range anyway.
Yeah. Well, the darker hens is worse. I have 2 black hens, and when it's like 35 degrees, I can see that they're struggling more than the rest of the flock. I wanted to ask if you have another type of chickens, but we already talked about meat chickens. So, does people in the chat has question for us?
I did turkeys last year. It was pretty cool. I find them easier for some reason
to raise.
Yeah. A meat chicken will eat about 20% of their diet on grass, but the turkeys will do about 50%. So you can put the turkeys on grass and they'll eat way more than chickens.
If I raised turkeys last year, I find that they take more space than had space. I think I would have a permanent breed, like a male and a tom and a couple of hens, to have like for them to raise them, so I don't have to do it. Well, obviously I would have to feed them and give them water, but I wouldn't have to take care of the chick process. But it's true, it's you have more meat per bird, so you have
Yeah,
to put more meat in your freezer.
and I like cleaning them
But
also.
there are, you liked cleaning them
Yeah, but like the butchering part is, I find it easier than chickens. I have more space to put my hands.
because they're bigger.
Yeah,
To empty them. This year I could not participate at the harvesting. We had the kids. We harvested them at 3 months and a half. They're big. They're
yeah.
huge. My husband said he had to fight one. So one of the males were like very, very aggressive, and I told the kids not to go in the coop because of that. But otherwise than that, I find that it's a fun process. It's just a little bit longer, and you have to maybe harvest them a little bit differently. But the end product gives you more.
Oh yeah. I ended up with 3 or 4, and we had one on Thanksgiving. We had another one on Christmas. And I mean, I got 5 kids. My brother has 3, and it was my 2 parents. So about what, 14 of us, 12, 14 of us, and a whole turkey was enough. We had some leftovers for sandwich for a few days after.
When I cook one turkey, I have leftovers for weeks. We're only
Yeah,
5.
I ended up, they were about between 11 and 13 pounds each.
Empty?
Yeah,
Mine were 17.
nice.
They're huge. They're huge. If I would have left mine, the 3 of them whole, my freezer, just with those, my chest freezer would have been full. Like, no, maybe not full. I would say half full. Because, like, the way that they sit on each other, at least half of the freezer would have been gone. And then I had 35 birds for myself. No. Yes, I had 37 birds for myself. Just with that, like, I would not have place for any of frozen vegetables. So what I did I kept one whole, and the others I divided them. Like, I put all the wings together, all the thighs together, and all the breasts together. So, and instead of using like a lot of space in the freezer, like I had them in pieces. But if I would have followed Tammy's suggestions of canning big chickens, I would not have that problem. But I was too terrified to pressure can them.
You'll get there.
Yes, like I almost told my husband when he went to Costco to buy me chicken breasts so that I would pressure can them, but then I backed away again. Jill, you are sending your turkeys to the processor? Is that what you're saying? Anyone else raising turkeys this year or last year?
I'm hoping to do it again.
Oh, is my internet acting up again?
Yeah, you're frozen. Oh, you're back. Oh,
am I back?
Yep, you're lagging
Back?
though.
I'm so. Oh yeah, I have a sign that says la conexión está instable. Yeah. There's a problem with my connection. Okay, let's see if we can stay here. If I have too much problems, well then I'll just call it a night. I did not know, Jill, that you can send all your birds to be processed. Can we do that here?
I think if you want to
have
sell the meat, I think you need to do it. That's the way you need to go.
Yeah, that part I knew. if you want to safely sell your meat here in Canada, you have to go through an official place. But I didn't know that they would take chickens or turkeys.
Good question, Marilyn.
I don't know. I see that we are 10. So it's probably Jill, Marilyn, myself, Remi, and I don't know who the other 6 are. Are you okay?
Yeah, one of the kid was acting up. The old one. I
Oh
don't know. I could
no.
scream like a. I'm not gonna say what it sounded like.
So it's your turn to have kids that are acting up.
And they know. I told him. I mean, he's
Oh, you
14
cut
years old.
off.
Should know better.
Hello?
You don't hear me?
Well, they don't know better. they want your they want your dad. Me, I'm still here listening. Nice. Well, I pretty much asked you everything I wanted to ask. Did you have questions?
Uh, Not that I can think of right off the back. If you could, um, if you had the space and you had the right to do whatever you want, how many chickens would you want to have? Do you hear me? Hello? No? You don't hear me? So, Marilyn, you can hear me?
Uh,
Oh, there's a lag.
I don't think I would go above 12. Yes, well, delayed. I think my connection is yes. I I can hear you. Are you there? We're having trouble.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try something.
She left me alone again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, do you hear me?
Can you hear me?
You don't hear me?
Remi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Okay, so I would have not more than 12. No, I'm here.
Yeah, there's a big lag.
I'll try something. I'll be back.
Okay. Technology is right. It happens. And for some reason, it always seemed to happen when we're on a live stream. Same thing happened to me. So who else is still in the chat? Fox, Jill, Marilyn. There's 10 people now, 9 watching now. So there's got to be some more people. Come on, people. Help us out. Oh,
How's that?
I hear you fine. You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're good.
I closed every single thing that was open on my computer. Maybe that worked. We'll
Okay.
see.
Well, seem to be doing better. If you hear me properly, then it's fine.
Okay. I heard that you asked me the question of how many chickens I would have if there was no limitation. That was
Yes.
the question? Okay. I don't think I would go over 12 because I can't keep up with all the eggs. And there's so many eggs you can eat in a day. Unless I have a farm dog and I feed the dog a raw diet, maybe I would go more, but I don't think I would go over 12, including a rooster. And in there, I would have like a breed for the broody and the breed for the meat. Yeah. I have 8 layers, and that feeds my family of eggs. and I sell the eggs to one family, and then on occasion my parents.
Okay.
I used to have two clients and occasion my parents, but this year one of them moved. So
Okay.
I think for a family of 5, 6 to 8 hens is just fine if you enjoy eating and enjoy baking and cooking eggs. If you don't, I don't think I would go over 3, 3, 6 max.
3, 4, maybe. Yeah.
What about you?
If I could, I'd like to have 3 different breeds, 6 hens and 1 rooster per breed. So that would give me 21 chickens total. But the thing is, I would like to have them to reproduce themselves. And like I said earlier, keep my flock going and no need to go to the store to buy some meat chickens. I wouldn't need to buy from the co-op meat birds.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have, my own way of getting that ball rolling. You heat the roosters, you keep the hens for eggs. I would have some hens set apart just for eating eggs, and I would have a few ones with the rooster just to get them, do their thing and give me some chicks and do the rotation and keep it going.
Oh, that would be a lot of eggs.
We we eat easily on Sunday mornings a pack of egg right there. Um, my girlfriend loves to cook. She'll take a pack of eggs per week extra right there. The kids will go and cook some eggs before they go to bed at night as a snack. Um, Plus, we eat about we eat about we eat chicken once a week. So it's at least 1 chicken per week, if not more. You'll eat chicken broth. That's a whole chicken that goes in there.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to have just like baked potatoes and carrots and chicken, well, extra right there. So we're a family of 7, so we do eat a lot of chicken.
I think I would say the same. Well, if I could, I would eat a chicken every week, but I don't have the space to have a freezer full of 50 birds. So if I wanted to do that, I would have seriously, like, I have to face the fear of pressure canner and like maybe freeze 25 and then pressure can 25. That would help a lot. Eggs, I would say one meal is 8 to 9 eggs. One of my sons actually eats more than me. He eats 3 eggs for a meal, plus bacon, potatoes, and any vegetables that I cook. So 3 eggs. I have hard time eating 2. So I would say at least 8, 9 eggs. And in the summer, I bake a lot. I do crepes. I do how do you say goaf? Waffles?
Waffles.
Yeah, we eat a lot of waffles. And my kids don't like it, but quiche.
Okay.
I love to make quiche and omelets. With
The
an
thing
omelet, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, the thing is, when you have a big flock of chickens, if you have dual purpose birds, you don't necessarily need a big freezer. You can just go and get a few
No.
chickens here and there when you're ready, and even if you only do 5 at a time, you do 5, you put them in the freezer. When you get down to like 1 or 2, you can go and do some other ones. But that's one of the reasons why I would want to have a rotation in my chickens.
If I would do that, I think I would have I would need a permanent um setup, like a permanent outdoor kitchen that I just have to sanitize it and just bring the plucker in so that processing maybe like 5 roosters, I can do it in an hour. Because if you need to set up, because it takes you the same time to set up for 5 birds
And it does, yeah.
than it does for like 25. So if I want to be self-sufficient or sustainable operation, I think I would go with an outdoor kitchen, or like some sort of outdoor operation that's like I don't need to do much just to set up.
Yeah.
Or I can just do it like like the older generations used to do. Like they would pluck and do everything just outside the front door with barely anything. Yes, you're lucky. It was not sunny here. It was cloudy all day. Just cooked the chicken and broth came right after. I love that. You cook a full chicken, you have a little bit of broth, and then you just process the bones a second time, and you have even more broth. I know, Jill. I know. It's just like those horror stories that I keep hearing about pressure canning. And that's why it's still in the box. But I have to face that fear this year. Marilyn says, I eat chicken maybe 2-3 times a year now. Eggs are more often, but the meat, very not often. Well, I think that now, since I've tasted the meat that I raise, I don't think I will be able to go back to store-bought.
And you're talking about rabbits. I have one of my doe rabbit that's supposed to deliver little babies anytime now.
Oh, cool.
And I'm not ready. I'm going to have to go get that done after. Well, she's only...
Oh, boy.
will be day 31 on the 5th. So in 2 days.
So you could do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it would be a risk unless she's early.
It's pushing it a little bit. I don't know if she started removing her fur yet. I didn't check her.
Well, you can just, if you check her stomach and her fur is still there, I doubt that she's going to have her babies tonight. I doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Usually they remove their fur 2 days before, couple days just before giving birth. Like, I don't know if it's accurate, but I was told that once their fur is removed, you have maximum 3 days before the baby comes. Would you say that?
I think so. I don't know the exact amount of days, but I know that as long as it's not done, as long as the mama's not ready, she knows what's best. So she'll get ready when she feels like she needs to get ready.
You're so sweet, Jill. I think I'm gonna have like this personal like group with like live stream, not put it live, of people helping me can. And or I should record it and make it like a fun joke. Like I know I need to do it. It's just I need to do it. Oh, we lost Remi.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
I'm still here.
You're still here. You just decided to close your camera.
Yeah, just for a second.
No worries. I'm just going to read to make sure that I asked you everything. Oh, someone that wants to buy chickens tomorrow morning. What breeds do you or anyone in the comments you would suggest?
Are we talking just about the hens or about the roosters as well?
I have no experience in roosters, but you can share that as well.
I've heard that the Rhode Island Reds, the roosters can get very aggressive, but for hens, the hens alone, you can treat them less like pets. So you can put the little harness on them, take them for a walk. You can put them on the swing. You can bring them next to you, just sitting in the garden. They'll stick around you. My daughter, I don't know how she does that. She trains them, and that's the one we have right now. Ketchup is actually Ketchup number 2. She had another Ketchup before, and she did the same thing. My daughter goes outside, and as soon as she gets close to the chicken coop, Ketchup will go and wait for her right in front of the door. And if she opens the door, she'll follow her around in the yard wherever she goes. So it's
That
can't go
must be
wrong with that kind of chicken.
adorable
Yeah, it
to
is.
watch.
So cute. Like whenever there's a school activity or something like that where she has to talk about her animal, people just know that she's gonna bring her chicken. She had a
Ketchup.
presentation in fall, I think it was, and she had to present her animal to the class. And
She
because
had
we
to
were
bring the
still
chicken
doing
to school.
no, we were still doing online school
Oh
for
no,
that
we
time.
froze up again.
Oh, I'm still here. You hear me? Do you hear me, Annie? No, you guys hear me in
Yeah,
the chat?
you're still here. I'm here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything open that's causing my computer to
But
go
yeah,
crazy.
she had to do a presentation on her computer. I think it was on Teams, and she had a chicken in the house, sitting on her lap. She was, caressing the chicken, and she was just there, not moving, like a pet, like a real pet.
Cute. It's not, well, that's a lot of patience to train a chicken to follow you around.
I don't
It's a
know.
lot of patience and a lot of devotion.
I don't know how she does it. She did it the first time. She was only like 4 years old. I mean, she's only 9 now, and that's catch up number two. So whatever
They
she
say that
did,
chickens are stupid. They're not.
no, they're
They're
not.
not stupid animals. They're very, very intelligent. And if you own ducks, they're even more loyal than chickens.
Oh yeah,
If you raise ducklings, like I have two ducklings that I raised from baby ducklings, like they were babies, and I would put them here, and they would fall asleep here. And once I put them outside to join the main flock, the adults, the two female adults I had, they were crying for me nonstop. And when I would go in the garden, their fence would just be in front of the garden, and they would wait for me there. And they wanted to be pet, they wanted to be picked up. But like I didn't want to create that habit of like the ducks being so loud. So I made a hard decision because of the city. I didn't want to have trouble. I distance the time that I would go see them, but now sadly when I go to pet them, they walk away from me. But if you have that relationship from the duckling point or chick point and you nurture that relationship, they will be so loyal to you. Very loyal.
and the chickens, I think they can remember up to I think it's over 100 different faces.
And
So if you
your smell.
oh yeah, I didn't know that
It's
about.
your smell.
Okay, I didn't know about that. I know that they can remember different people, but I didn't know it was about the smell.
When you're probably when you're close. I don't know if it's true. It's what I read, but I know they can recognize a face and sound of a lot of people. So they're very intelligent.
Mhm.
Jill says she needs help in the gardening section. I would gladly help you. You can ask any questions. Well, if I know the answer, I will will give it to you. Marilyn says fur is mostly pulled during the labor at her house. I'm guessing she's saying no, he did not. Froze. I think
Yeah,
that's what she meant. You just cut your microphone, right?
I cut my mic to cough.
Okay, every time your mic cuts off, I think I'm frozen.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. That's why I stopped and I'm like, am I frozen? Well, I've asked everything I want to ask, and I said pretty much everything I want to say. There is actually no, there is one more thing I want to say. If you're new to, I don't know if everyone in this chat does not have chickens, but if someone is watching this on replay, I would say before getting chickens, before buying any equipment, check with your city if you're allowed to have some. And if you're allowed, How many are you allowed to have? And make that a very clear answer. Me and Remi both know this from
Yes.
experiments.
We've learned the hard
The
way.
city came. The city came to my house and also to Remi's house. It was
The,
very,
the
very
thing
sad.
is, pretty much everyone has chickens now, and we all think that they're free to go. Like we're free to have them wherever we want. But it just takes that one neighbor to file a complaint, and they'll come see you and tell you to get rid of them. So make
It
sure.
just takes one lousy, bad, jealous, dot,
Yeah.
dot, dot neighbor. Serge wants to know if anyone raises free range rabbit. I
It
do
must be
not.
hard to do. I don't
Must
think
be.
they would
Well,
come back.
they don't go far. They don't go far. We actually lost a male. One day I arrived in the coop and the door was open, and their cage is like low enough for them
Let's get out.
to leave, to get out. And the next evening, so he was out 36 hours. He was waiting by the door.
Yeah,
So he came back. So they know where the food is and they know where the shelter is. And he ran away one of the coldest nights of the winter, obviously.
of course.
We thought that we lost him, but he came back. The people that raise rabbit told me that they don't normally go far, but they do disappear if you have predators.
Yeah.
Mine are géant des flammes, so they're kind of big. So I kind of I have a hard time picturing a predator bird, leaving with with him because he's huge. But like if you have like fox or
Coyote.
bigger coyote, they would be gone. Remy, Hector, and Dundee had them loose. They would run away, but always around the yard.
And I am thinking about it now. My friend Alain Fontaine, from Balmoral, he has rabbits running all over his property. And he once told me, now that I think of it, he once told me that if you put hay a few places here and there, the rabbits will stay around in the winter, and they'll have a shelter under, like they'll find little corners here and there, go eat the hay, and you can give them food, and they'll come back for food. You're right.
I love the concept of having the rabbits on the ground. If I could, mine would be pasture, but in cages because I like obviously they're an investment.
Yeah.
But I would design my property for the cages or the tractors to pass in my orchard or around bushes where it needs to be fertilized. But I don't think I would free range them. I I would be scared too much for them to run away or be um, eaten.
Well, the channel you watched, what's it called? Living Tradition Homestead. Is that the one?
Yeah, that's where I learned most of my
She
rabbit
made a few
stuff.
videos where she has her chickens on grass, not her chickens or rabbits on grass. But I think she just puts
Yeah.
like a little wire cage on the bottom to make sure, because the rabbits will dig if you put them in cage. Yeah,
Meat breeds. All the meat breeds that I had did not dig.
I know.
No. Maybe it's mine. They would never really do any damage to. They would just eat the grass, fertilize the grass, and that's pretty much it. But I would not put my breeders on the soil. I would only put the litters once they're weaned on the grass. I don't know where I've read this. I've read that there could be parasites
Okay.
on the grass, and if you put your breeders there, it can cause problems.
Could be.
Are you there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, your camera cut. I
So I
don't know
put
where I
the
read this or where I saw it. but I saw something about parasites or something on the grass that can hurt the breeders, but not the babies that you plan on eating. But like it's kind of far. We stopped doing meat rabbits here, so I kind of go Control Alt Delete with some information and put useful information that I use on a current basis, because
Yeah.
well, sadly we don't do meat rabbits anymore. Did it cut again?
Nope. Well,
No.
I hear you fine.
I'm having a really hard time. Now I have like a permanent thing that says my internet is like not good.
Nope.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna call this a night, because I don't think I want it to crash on me and then me not be able to say bye to everyone and be rude. So did I answer everyone's questions? Did people want to say something more before I let you guys go? Thank you for coming and sharing your input on chickens.
My pleasure.
I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, me too. It's not that bad during the day. It's mostly at night. The high fever and the cough. And
do you sleep with your sit up, like 3/4 sit up?
Nope.
Try it.
I tried to sleep under my blankets, and I fell asleep fine. It's just that I woke up, I was frozen, and then I would try to roll with the blanket, and then a few minutes later, it was so warm, I was soaking wet, and you know what it is when you have a fever.
Yeah. Do you take your Advils every 6 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously, you were probably due to take some Advils at that point.
Yeah, during the middle of the night.
Obviously, when you're supposed to sleep.
Yeah.
Of course. It's like you always start feeling sick just after dinner. It cannot be in the morning, so that you can take something, while you're awake. No. It has to be after dinner. It's always like that.
Try to keep it going as long as you can, so that you can take it just before you go to bed. But no, it's not how it happens.
No, the body says, nope.
I'm due around 12. I'm due at midnight. I'll have it ready next to my bed.
Okay. Well, I hope you feel better by tomorrow. And everyone here in the chat, thank you for coming. I hope you have a wonderful week. And if you're going to sow some seeds, happy sowing, because it's like usually April, everything is being sown. So everyone's going to be sowing a lot of seeds.
We started.
So take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.